Hello, readers. Welcome to 20 Questions with Your Favorite Author, where we ask authors important questions like, why would you agree to be on this podcast? Our guest this week is Seressia Glass, author of contemporary, paranormal, and urban fantasy. Her next release is The Love Con, a rom-com about a plus-size cosplaying blurred in a reality show competition. Seressia likes to collect purple rings, jewelry, and spends way too much time watching K-dramas and anime. If she's not your favorite now, she will be after. Yay! Welcome, Seressia. How are you doing this evening?
I am doing great. I'm happy to be here.
That's great. We heard puppies in the background. I have puppy questions. This is important.
As soon as I go online and go live, that's when they start to bark. It happens every time. If I'm in a meeting, a work meeting, it doesn't matter. Soon as we go live, one of them barks.
I mean, it's part of their job. They're like, we get attention too.
Right.
That's right. They
so
must
yeah,
know.
I have a canine cheering section all ready to go every time.
Nice. That's right. We need our cheerleaders, and what better ones than dogs? I mean, come on.
Yes. So I have 3. I have 2 standard poodles. My elder dog is Toby. He's like 14, and Hannah is about 7 or 9. And earlier this year, we got ourselves a Cane Corso, which is looks like he's built like a tank. He looks like a pit bull if a pit bull had half its legs. So, but he's the sweetest dog, but he will, even though he's tiny, he weighs like 80 pounds. So he will take you out at the knees just because he loves you. So we
to get closer to lick your face.
Yes, so we have to be careful when we're like, taking him outside because he gets very excited. I would be worried about him if he was a human because, this would be his origin story. He has spent his time capturing birds, and now he's on bees and water bugs. And of course, since it's been raining here in Georgia, like the flood, there's lots of them. So he wants to go outside so he can go hunting. And like I said, if he was a human child, this would be his origin story right here. This is where it would all start. So
He'd get magic powers.
Right? I'm glad he doesn't have thumbs. He can open the screen door by himself, but he doesn't realize that he does it. So he still waits for me to be at the door, and then he'll bust through it, basically.
Oh, no. Just your presence means it's magically open now.
Yes.
Well, my mom is right outside. They're right outside of Atlanta too. And they have those huge spiders that are a pain right now, the Joros. Does he attack those for you? Does he help you?
I haven't seen them yet. I haven't seen them. Thank goodness I haven't seen them yet, because that's one of the, even though I like to associate spiders with creativity in my writing. And if I see one, it's like, go put your butt in the chair, Risa. But something that's the size of my hand, I don't think I can handle that. So if they're here, hopefully he's killed them and taken care of them, maybe eaten a few. I'm still waiting for him to come back in with his face all swollen, because bees or wasps are just like, I'm over you, hunting us down. So
that's right, that's enough.
Right. So I haven't seen the spiders yet, and I'm very, very grateful that I have not. It looks like I froze up for a little bit. I apologize.
Yes, I think somebody froze. It happens. It's called live. Live happens. No big deal. We're good. So yes, the spiders. Well, at least you don't have the spiders. My mom said they are covering her house. Like they're everywhere. She had to go on a killing spree, and she's got 2 dogs, and they're not eating them. And she had to just get that all off of everything. She just scraped them from everything.
Oh my gosh. I can't imagine that. Oh, phobia is coming back. Oh, Lord. And I can't drink tequila like I used to, so I can't even medicate myself.
Oh, no. Now that's the real tragedy. No tequila? Oh.
Yeah, I'm trying to find things that I can drink. I have to cut my sugars. So tequila's got some. So I need to find all of the skinny things, and I guess, which I really hate the name of those, but I guess it makes sense. But, I got to find a skinny liquor that I can imbibe to celebrate or de-stress.
See, my problem is in the tequila. It's the orange juice I put in the tequila. That's where I'm getting all of my calories.
Yes. There's that too.
Yes, that's it. But I will never have scurvy.
That is true. Your vitamin C is at 1,000%.
Exactly. Luckily, alcohol doesn't make it go away. So I'm good. So let's see. Oh, yeah, the chat suggests blowtorch. Blowtorch just might get rid of all the spiders.
My husband has always wanted a flamethrower, so this might be a good opportunity.
If they show up, you know what to do now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, question. We're supposed to be talking about writing, but who cares? This is way more fun. Question, our number one question, which we're about to retire. So you're like only one of like the next 4, because we will have a year coming up. A year coming up, guys. Good job. I'm so impressed of doing this podcast.
Congrats.
Thank you. So we will retire this question and start a new one. But you get this awesome, our traditional question, which is, where do you get your ideas?
Oh, that's a good question. I like to people watch, and I watch a lot of, not as much television as I used to. I watch things like the Ancient Aliens. Anytime there's a marathon of Ancient Aliens on, I watch it. I know it's crazy, but some of their ideas are just so out there. I'm like, somebody should write that.
You're like, I'm totally stealing that.
Right? And, since I was a kid, I was always fascinated with Egyptian mythology. So a lot of, like the Jackal series and even the Shadowblade series has a lot of Egyptian mythology in it. So that's been a favorite. And then, like you said in the intro, I spend way too much time on the K-dramas and anime. And, some of those are the concepts that they come up with, and the storylines they're just awesome, especially the fantasy ones. So I just really like their storytelling. So it does inspire. Definitely, I'm not copying stories or anything, but yeah, I like to, sometimes I get mad at endings and I go, what if? It's always that question. What if this had happened instead? And then I'm like, oh, okay, well, what if this had happened? Then what if that had happened first? And then next thing I know, I've come up with an outline for a story, or at least a blurb for a story. So what if blah, 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 that kind of thing. So that's kind of how it goes.
That's awesome. So everywhere. That's a good answer.
Yes.
Which of your books challenged you the most?
Well, if I'm being honest, it was the one before, the Love Con, finishing that up, because 2020 sucked for everybody. It really sucked for me. I had difficulty finishing and writing anything. Then there was a lot of there was so much news, and none of it was good. And then people getting hurt, sick, dying, people you don't know but are getting plastered on TV, getting shot, and all of that stuff. So it's very hard to write this story about a fat Black cosplayer facing challenges being a fat Black cosplayer. So I just kind of had to let her have a moment where she deals with that, and so I kind of dealt with it the way through her.
That's awesome.
And then, of course, this January, not January, but in July, I got diagnosed as being bipolar, and I'm like, oh my God, so many things make sense now.
You're like, oh, I get it.
It really is all in my head.
And your husband's going, la 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 la, I say nothing.
Poor dude. Yeah, and I'm a Gemini on top of that. So I'm like, if you don't like this personality, just wait a few minutes. Another one will be out soon.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's quite a lot in 1 year. My gosh.
Great.
Yeah, lots to deal with.
Yep. So better now, and the stories are, the words are flowing. So that's always great.
Good. Yes, it feels so much better once you actually get back to it.
Yes.
Let's see, in Shadowblade, that is your main character there is Kira, which I've always loved that name, so good choice. She is a shadow chaser. with what I'd call empathic abilities.
Yes.
That's kind of, I have a thing, it feels like empathic abilities. So what exactly is a shadow chaser?
Well, in that world, let me see if I remember because the first book came out in 2010. In that world, there's everybody is balanced between light and shadow, and then there's the group in between. So even though there are, so the extreme end of shadow, basically the evil, not good creatures, the big bads, they're called shadowlings. So they're basically, you know, the dark, the scary things that go bump in the night. But some of the creatures on that, so they're all on a spectrum. So kind of towards the middle, there are creatures who are shadowlings, but they're just trying to do their job and live their life like everybody else. And then, but shadow chaser is a person who keeps them in line, hunts down the shadowlings, the demons, and all of that stuff. And they're kind of like, they're not metaphysical bounty hunters because there's a whole organization that's around them called Light International. And the head of it is this superhuman, maybe not human, personification of light called Balm. So, and the name of the group is the Gilead Commission. So she's the Balm of Gilead. And she runs, she manages all of these shadow chasers in their organization and and they have handlers. Kira didn't know she had a handler until her handler died. And that's how she found out that, he was not spoiling anything. That happens pretty early on in the book. And then, of course, on the other end of that, there are the light beings. There's angels, fairies, do-gooders, all that kind of stuff. So, and they're all just kind of trying to live their lives in a closed society, basically. So only the humans that are part of this organization knows that these creatures exist, but most of the time they're human looking or they're hiding in the shadows or in their own enclaves and stuff like that. So
gotcha.
And if they get out
she
of
has
line,
to chase them, hunt them down.
Pretty much.
So this series, as you said earlier, features Egyptian mythology, which is so much fun because so much urban fantasy is all more European mythology, so something more familiar. So it's fun to explore something else. So what kind of research did you do for those elements?
Well, here in Atlanta, Emory University has a museum on their campus called the Carlos Museum, and in that they have a very good exhibition or exhibit on Egyptian, ancient Egypt. So there's like sarcophagi, sorry. That's
You're
the
good.
plural, not sarcophaguses.
We're writers. We're allowed to make up words. I say so.
Snugglepuses, that they bury the dead in. So they had a full like exhibit of it. And so I went to that. Anytime a documentary on Egypt is on, I'm watching it. So like the Science Channel, I watched a lot of that. And I have a bookshelf and a half of Egyptian books or Egyptian mythology books. I have a copy of the Book of the Dead, Ancient Egypt Mythology and Practices. I used sacredtext.org to kind of read some of the writings that were in the temple that deals with the Book of the Dead or, going in and out through the day. So that kind of stuff. So anything I could lay my hands on. And Ancient Aliens marathons that dealt with Egypt.
Well, that's why I watch it, right? Because Ancient Aliens, they actually talk about history stuff too.
Right. So it's
there's actually stuff to learn. You just have to, take the rest of it with a grain of salt.
Right.
Yes.
Got to have your filters on. So yeah,
right.
Kira worships Mott, who's the balance. She's the feather that Anubis weighs against the person's heart to make sure that they can go on to the good place, or their souls get destroyed by Ammit. Basically eaten, and then you're no longer anything. So so that kind of plays into her outlook on everything, and it comes more into play later on in the series when she about being in balance and trying to stay in balance. So she checks herself by performing this ritual where she kind of spiritually weighs herself against Mott's feather and see if she's still got enough light in her or if she doesn't, because basically the hero in the book, Kafar, who's a 4,000-year-old Nubian, who basically he's not necessarily alive, but he's not dead. Basically, he can come back to life. So because he's got to stay alive because he was given a charge by ISIS that he has to save a life for every life that he took while he was alive 4,000 years ago. So basically, it's like a group of marauders destroyed his village, killed his wife and his children. So he just kind of went on a rampage and salted the earth, killed a bunch of folks, and then kind of went mad. So ISIS found him in a cave and said, you can redeem yourself, and this is how you have to do it. So, so some of it is him just saving people, but some of it is him being guided to people. And Kira is one of the last ones that he has to save. So basically, he's trying to save her from falling into shadow because of her ability and her psychometry, she can kind of absorb those negative energies, but that can also affect her. So she basically makes a pact with him that if she slides too far into shadow, then he has permission to set her free by killing her, basically. So, yeah, I know. Because
I don't know how free I'd want to be.
Then.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
So yeah, your boyfriend has to kill you if you go crazy. Okay, yeah, I wrote that.
Yeah, yeah. And that was before you were diagnosed with bipolar. So for the record.
Kelly's just not having a good night, is she?
Okay, so it's not okay. I thought it was me because my internet's been kind of dragging. Okay.
Nope, it's totally me. Yeah, we've rearranged my setup, and apparently it's causing problems. Yeah, isn't that fun? But let me say, the Egyptian. So Spikeette wants to know, is her Egyptian books the Shadowblade series? Yes. Here's the fun part, though. It's not just that one. So your Egyptian mythology is featured in Seducing the Jackal as well.
Yes, those are 3 novellas that I did with Harlequin. So they're about, I think they're still available in ebook form. So basically those are, I call it the Sons of Anubis series. So basically they're jackal shapeshifters who worship Anubis. So so they have this whole compound here in Atlanta, because right what you know.
Right.
So they have this huge compound in Atlanta, but the leader of that group has been around for, about 3, 4, 5,000 years. So back then, his leader, who was the leader of the jackals, so basically their role is to make sure that the dead go where they're supposed to go to judgment, and then go on to the field of reeds or get chewed by, the soul destroyer. And some of the souls were like, nah, I'm not feeling this, bro. So they want to come back. And when they come back, they're zombies. And so their responsibility is to, take them out. So, and their leader can actually has a couple of different forms. As a leader, his ultimate form is an Anubis shape. So, back then, they worked with the daughters of Isis, who was a priesthood dedicated to Isis. And so they were basically like witches, good witches, who kind of helped them, maintain the peace among everybody, and, gave them magical weapons and things to help them contain the dead. But there was this big breakup between the 2 groups, and they've been enemies ever since then. So in the first book, he kidnaps the heroine, who is an Isis priestess. He calls her an Isis witch, and because one of his men got infected and is dying. And so he's been, they keep tabs on all of the daughters of Isis. So he knew where she was, and she was kind of not staying in the compound. She wanted to have a separate life. So he basically kidnaps her, and then mayhem and foolishness and sexy times and healing all happen in the course of that book. And, some zombies get killed and stuff. So
yeah, that looked really fun. I liked that. So, and you have a lot of romance. So you really like the romance genre, don't you?
Yeah, I started in that, which is really weird. I started in that, even though, I cut my teeth on David Eddings and I'm blanking on names. Or Ursula K. Le Guin. All of those books. I read all of those. Madeline L'Engle, all of those. I remember The Ring of Pure and Endless Light. That was one of the first ones that I enjoyed. So I started with all of those, discovered Octavia Butler, and I was like, oh my God. Oh my God,
I'm in love.
book candy.
That's
Um,
right.
So, but then, I started reading like the paranormal romances and fantasy romances, and there, some of the fantasies had love stories in them. And, then I kind of started some Duran Duran fan fiction. I probably shouldn't admit that, but I did. And then
Hey, we all have to start somewhere.
right. And so my first book kind of came out of that way back in 2000. So yeah, so I've been doing that, but I love, paranormal romance, and I love urban fantasy, and I really want to get back to it. So I am planning to do some indie publishing because I'd like to continue the Shadow Blade series. I actually have covers already made for them. So I just need to, get some spiders outside my house so I can put my butt in my chair and write.
I'm sure my moms will bring you some. I mean, they would love to.
Thank you, Mom. I really appreciate that. But, you don't have to go through all that trouble.
I mean, it's for the
okay.
writing. It's for the writing.
Right.
It's a good cause.
And I do have some ideas for the Sons of Anubis series. I want to kind of expand them, make them more urban fantasy instead of paranormal romance. So I got some ideas percolating on how to do that because, kind of left it on a cliffhanger, but the big bad still out there somewhere. So we will see.
Excellent. Yeah, it's nice when you actually have control of what you're publishing, right? So you definitely can finish them. Definitely.
Yes.
So let's see. Friday Blue wants to know. So now that we've talked about your main series here, Friday Blue wants to know, what is your favorite book that you wrote?
Oh, they're all my book babies. That's a good question. I really like Shadow Blade because, that was my first foray into urban fantasy, and I really just enjoyed telling that story. Then, of course, the Love Con, of course, is my favorite because it's the one that I just finished. But I get to, kind of geek out in the Love Con because, she's a cosplayer, and she's in Atlanta, so she and her best friend went to Dragon Con all the time. So, and they dressed up for it. So, I just really just was really happy to be able to indulge, the geekery and my nerddom, and, putting that in there. I don't get to dress up as much at Dragon Con as I would like to, which is why I wanted to get a room so that I could, actually cosplay next year.
That's the trick, right? The driving's annoying. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. So, just being able to write about that and just have fun writing it, even though it was a hard slog, through all of last year trying to get it done. So, but I got it done. They loved it. And, it's coming out in December. So I'm very, very happy about that. So maybe it'll just be a whole series of geekery and nerddom, I think.
It could be so fun. Be like reading about our best friends,
Yeah, exactly. So, so that was a lot of fun.
Well, so speaking of Dragon Con, that's where I met you. I was lucky enough to be on a panel with you. It was like a standalones in series, I think.
Yes.
So that was really fun. I was lucky enough to moderate it. I love moderating, obviously. It's a lot of fun. I like it. And you get to meet awesome people. I'm wondering,
you're awesome at it.
Oh, why, thank you. So do you do a lot of conventions?
Not as many as I would like to. I've done WorldCon a couple of times. WizCon, I was going to do that and something happened. I'm not quite sure what happened, and I didn't get to go to that one. So there are some new ones that I'm learning about that I would like to go to. Imaginarium, I've heard about that one. I think that one's in Tennessee, maybe. I'm going to get all of these wrong. I
never remember if it's in Tennessee and Kentucky.
Right. Oh, maybe it's Kentucky. So I'm interested in doing that one. And I'm actually just interested in finding about some more regional ones because I would just really love to go because, getting your geek on is, fun.
It's half the fun of being a writer. My gosh.
Exactly. So, yeah, definitely would like to find some of those. And Coastal Magic is a reader focus convention that happens in Daytona in February. So I'll be going to that because it's just really laid back and it's a lot of fun interacting with other authors and readers. And it's just a very cool vibe to it. So you're not stressing and having to be on all the time, you know? So I just really like that one. So those are the fun kind. So if I can find some more, definitely would like to start visiting them all, you know,
Lovely.
masked up and fully vaccinated and all of that good
Yep.
stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, we laugh, my husband and I, when people ask us, why we started a publishing company. One of the reasons is so we can go to conventions. Duh. I mean, that's fun.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's part of the fun. So do you have something special that you wear or must have at events that makes you feel legit?
You may not know this, but my favorite color is purple.
Purple?
So purple, I know. So
I was going to say, I know it. It's on your profile picture. You're wearing it right now. You have.
And you can't tell, but my walls are actually purple.
We can kind of see it, but I couldn't tell for
purple.
sure. Yeah.
Yes, they're purple walls. I have it's kind of gone crazy because I have a purple heater, a purple fan. I'm sitting on a purple carpet in a purple chair, and there's a purple lounge over on that side. And my purple shredder, my purple coffee maker, and then there's a purple mini fridge behind me. So,
Zafo, we need to step up our colors.
Obsessed.
I like it. I like it a lot. I happen to love purple too. So you wear purple at events? Is that what makes you feel legit?
Thank you. So basically, so people can find me and they know that I'm me when they see me. Because, sometimes there's a lot of us running around. So I figure I need to stand out a little bit. So the purple helps that. So, yeah. And I just like the color. So I wear, the 50 shades of purple. And I do some berry colors, so I do purple adjacent with some of the burgundies and, raspberries and all of those colors too. So that's my author uniform basically. And then, it's fun finding purple hair that, I can also wear. So I like doing that too. It's basically a cosplay as a purple person every day.
I love it. It's like, it's not cosplay, it's who you are. See, that's different. I like it. So let's see, so we talked about your puppies already. That was my next question. So, they beat me to it. They're like, no, we must be talked about first. You know how puppies are.
Yes.
So let's skip to, if you could write in any world that wasn't your own, which world would that be?
Oh, good Lord. In one of the panels at DragonCon, I sat next to Patricia Briggs.
Me too.
Oh my God, I was fangirling. I was trying not to fangirl because it was like, oh my God, I'm sitting on a panel next to Patricia Briggs. So yeah, I would love to, if I had the chops, I would love to be able to do a spinoff in Mercy's universe. I think that would be, there's so many fascinating creatures that could be there in America. So it would just be awesome to do that. If she ever opened a world, and I don't blame her for not doing it, that would be awesome. I would really like the chance. But then I'd be scared of the chance. And it's like, oh my God, what if I fuck this up? Oh.
They wouldn't let you. It's okay.
Okay. So, yeah, they wouldn't put out trash or crap or, and I try not to write crap, even if it means that it takes a while to finish the story. So, but yeah.
Even if it feels like crap at first.
Right.
Yes.
So that would be a good one.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Oh, that would be fun. So what do you hope readers get from your work?
The main underlying thing in all of the stories is finding the place that you belong and the people you belong with. So just kind of that sense of found family, I think, because I think that, born blood relations are great, but that found family, I think, are the ones that are really going to be with you and stick with you and be your ride or dies without hopefully dying in the rides. So I think that kind of theme and that kind of concept of drawing your people together, the people who get you, who support you, who are going to love you and stand up for you. I think that is the main thing that runs through all of my books. So even in this one, so So Kenya and Cam, basically, they are ride or die for each other. They've been friends for half their lives, so they're always there for each other.
It's beautiful. I love it. I love it. And we should probably mention that the rom-com we've been talking about, the Love Con, that it is up for pre-order right now.
Yeah.
So you could pre-order it now. It will magically appear in your Kindle or whatever device you use come December.
Yeah.
So of all your characters, which one do you relate to the most?
Well, remember, I'm a Gemini, and I, have multiple personalities locked up here. So sometimes I feel like Kira. I want to kick butt and take names and, stab people with my pointy stick. Just at least in my head, I want to stab them. But then for the most part, I think Kenya is the closest in the Love Con, is the closest to me, I think, of them all, because, fat plus size blurred right here. But,
You're like, I understand her.
Right, I understand her. I is her. But of course, as writers, you put a little bit of yourself into every book, every story, and every character. But I would say that of all of them, those two are probably, when I'm pissed, I channel my inner Kira, and, my normal self would be a Kenya. So I would say those two.
Excellent. Good choices. Good choices. All right. Well, we have hit the lightning round where we have our very, very important questions, such as, what is your favorite flavor of ice cream?
Strawberry.
Ooh, good choice. I like the fruit ones. We haven't had enough fruit ones. Good choice. It's not even purple. Look at you.
I know.
Purple food is difficult, though, right? I mean, there's not really purple food.
Very true.
What is your least favorite chore around the house?
All of them. My poor husband. I hate putting away laundry. I can wash it. I just don't like to put it away. Same with the dishwasher. I can put them in the dishwasher, but taking them out and putting them up, that's kind of hard. As a matter of fact, I have a giant basket of laundry right next to the bed that's just begging to be put up. I think it's been sitting there for a week. When I run out of clothes in the closet, and that's not likely to happen, then I'll go back into the hamper and put those clothes up. And
Yeah, mine is more undergarments, right? You run out of undergarments, you're like, oh, I finally have to fold these clothes.
Well, just between you and me, I have been known to just go buy more underwear instead of doing laundry. I probably should not admit that over the internet, because the internet is forever. But
we're not recording it. No worries. It's fine. It's all good.
Yeah, nobody's going to come up to me at the next convention and ask me about my underwear. Of course not.
No, you'll be fine. At least you didn't say you go without. That would have been worse. Right. So this is, I can accept this one. That's right. I mean, worse question-wise, not worse. Yeah.
Right.
You get worse questions that way. Yeah, Florida Kevin says it's hard to do chores when you're really cranking on a book, right? I mean, you're working, gosh doggone it.
Yeah, and when I'm hitting a vibe or a stripe, I just like to keep on going until I just ride that puppy out until I have no more juice. Because the next day will probably be, you never know when you're going to hit the wall, and I don't want to hit the wall because I forgot,
where you were going,
because I didn't ride the wave, and just let that creative flow until it dries up. Which, like you said, sometimes you hit a wall, sometimes you just want to stay in bed. But I have been challenging myself since July 1st to write every day, even if it's crap, even if it's only, so my minimum is 100 words, which I know for other people are like, oh my God, really?
No,
that's all?
I feel you. Yeah,
but,
no, I feel you.
There are days when it's a struggle to hit that 100 words. So, because I have to give myself grace, or else I'm gonna, not be able to accomplish anything. So I give myself a gold star for every target I hit, every day I write, and it's nice to fill up the calendar with those gold stars. So that's my reward system.
Yes.
The visual reward system. So
I like it. No, and I actually like what you said, that you don't want to hit the wall because you didn't ride the wave. I love that. I might have to use that. That's beautiful.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I love it. Let's see. What part of your daily routine is an absolute must?
Coffee. It
Yes.
used to be caffeinated coffee, but now I have to do decaf because of some of my because of one of my prescriptions. But and tea. So because I can't drink decaf coffee all day, so I'll switch over to some of my I like the fruity teas. So I'm not like a chai person or a black tea person because again, caffeine. So I do some of the, one of my favorites right now is this raspberry pomegranate acai blend.
Ooh.
I don't know if it's supposed to do something, but it tastes really good. So I really like it. So
Its benefits are it keeps me hydrated.
right? Because sometimes I forget to get up and go get water, which is why I had to put the refrigerator behind me because it has all of my tea and water and all of that good stuff. Milkshakes, because who can be asked to go get dinner ready when I can just drink a protein shake out of my refrigerator. So that's what I do sometimes. And then my husband gets mad and he comes in here. How long have you been up? Like, what day is it? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I love you.
I'll see you tomorrow. It's okay.
Whenever that comes. Yeah.
So sometimes he makes me go to bed because it's like, you've been up for like 20 hours. I'm like, it's okay. I'm on a wave. I just got to finish this chapter.
He's like, that wave is heading to bed. Let's go.
Right? It's like, I'll be in there in a minute. And then, 3 hours later, I might go in there. So, it's time for him to get up because he gets up at 4 a.m. So I just, like last night, I went to bed at 2. I probably shouldn't say this loud enough for him to hear. But, again,
if he stayed asleep, you did good.
Great. I was determined to bump that number because I was about to turn a big number. I was about to hit 43,000 on my work in progress. And so I had to stay until I got over that number. So, so that was great. So once I hit it, it's like it took me till 2 a.m. But hey, I hit it and then I went to bed.
And now I'm out. That's right.
And I'm out.
I'm out. So what is the best thing that you've ever, or at least recently, eaten?
Oh, well, I'm doing this keto diet because, again, trying not to have sugar. But so I found these keto gummy bears and I love gummy bears. Gummy worms figures largely in the Love Con, because I can't eat them anymore, so I had to put them in the book. But I found these keto gummy bears, and I'm like, okay, I know that that's pricey, but I'm gonna buy them and see how they taste. And they taste like regular gummy bears. And so, because hey, when I get stressed, I like to bite the head off the gummy bear first, and then I eat the rest of it. So this
very satisfying.
Again, that's my origin story, I guess. Biting heads off of gummy bears.
It's how it all began.
Exactly. So that's been a great find. And then there are some of these no sugar chocolate peanut butter cups that are like 1 net carb, which means, just 1 carb, I can eat that. And then, the box is empty and I'm wondering what about the choices I've made in my life. But hey, it was good while it lasted. And then, I just kind of have to, deal with the ramifications of eating a box of chocolates, even though they're sugar-free, even though they're 1 net carb. Just because it's a net carb doesn't mean that there's not 30 at the beginning. So yeah,
it's a little crazy. Our bodies always telling us to do things that are bad for us. I blame them.
Yeah. Right? I mean,
their fault.
Why give me taste buds if I'm not supposed to use them?
Right? Makes no sense.
Exactly. But,
I'm like, why am I hungry again? I promised that mac and cheese was enough calories to get me through the whole.
Right.
Yeah, we're gonna have to fix that. That's really frustrating.
Yeah.
We were so close.
I know.
So
I only have
close.
1 question left. 1 question.
Okay.
Isn't that sad? It's so sad. Thank you for popping in, Zafo.
Absolutely.
You filling it in? Cerise is like, dude, I can talk. It's good.
Right. I can run off at the mouth. You know,
Yeah, she's like, I got this. No worries. She could be our new co-host. We're just totally gonna make this work. So, Seressia, thank you so much for being here tonight. I'm sorry about the tech issues. We will have to straighten that nonsense out. But I do want to know, now that you are our new favorite author, where can fans find you and your work?
basically, if you can spell my first name, you can find me. So on Twitter, it's at Seressia. My Facebook profile is at Seressia, and my Facebook page is author Seressia Glass. On Instagram, I'm Seressia Glass, and that is basically it. I feel like I'm too old for TikTok, so I'm not over there. Those newfangled programs, and stuff, and software and apps and stuff. So I have not gone over there yet. I love to watch people's TikToks. So, but the thought of creating one, it just kind of makes me break out in a cold sweat or a hot sweat.
Yeah.
One of the two. I just sweat at the thought. So
I'm
I'm
like,
not over there.
Yeah, it's like you want us to be camera ready at any second. No, I don't think so.
It takes a lot of effort because I have to bank ugly days so that I can have a pretty day. One pretty day. It takes a lot of ugly days of. I'm not even getting on camera for a work meeting, so here's my avatar, just kind of staring at it because I can't present this face to the public at the moment. So even coworkers. So no.
Absolutely. I feel you. That's why I don't do TikTok. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for coming, Seressia. Thank you for our chat. You are awesome as always. Please make sure to review Seressia's work. It is the best gift that you can give an author. And make sure to review this podcast wherever it is you get your podcasts. And we also have our YouTube channel, so curseddragonship.com/YouTube, where you can see the replays and see any that you have missed. They're all up there. And also we want to thank our subscribers. So we want to thank our subscriber, D.H. Dunn. Thank you for keeping the lights on around here. And our guest next week is Jace. Oh, where is he? Jace Killen. Jace Killen is next week. So thank you very much, and we'll see you then.
Thanks, guys.